Cameron Carlson. I'm here with Anime Location. I'm here at Colossalcon 2013 with a lovely and friendly gentleman of mine, Mr. Ian Sinclair. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. So the last time you and I got to hang out and talk was at SequoiaCon 2012. How have you been since then?
I have been crazy busy. I bought a house. I'm finally moving out of my old place, which I've tried to do for years and years, and so that's been my life. Everybody says that's a weird, hard process, and it is. So that's what I've been doing.
That's cool. And in our last interview, we got to talk about Borderlands 2. Yeah. And finally, your character came out, and I had the opportunity to play it, and I was like, yeah, nice. It was awesome. So how is it? So how is it doing that? How has other fans reacted to your awesome role of challenging J. Michael Tatum to a duel, basically?
It's been really cool. One of my favorite parts is that people do know that like Tatum and I go way back, and he's one of my dearest friends. And so it's really funny when they're like, did you? Because we didn't record it together, but I got to hear him, and so I got to work off of him. And working off of Tatum is wonderful because it's natural acting, and he's so fun. It is really hard not to laugh. Do you remember when he first called bullymongs?
Yeah.
Yeah. I howled. No, it's been great, and everybody's been really positive, and I've been able to play online. What did I just get? I just got a new game. I got that free downloadable. My friend's been telling me about that. I missed. We'll talk about that later. Anyway.
Yeah. All right, and another cool project. You had the chance to work on the Last Exile, Fam, the Silver Wing. When working on it, did you draw any inspiration from the past cast members that worked on the original title from the Geneon Bandai era?
I working with Chris Bevins, we kind of have an understanding that I don't. I've come in before because I've directed, and so I came in, crazy like I've got these ideas on things before, and that's bad actor. Like sometimes, so it's really good to research, but like you have to ask your director first. And if the director goes, "Yeah, I really want you to go do that," but he wanted to create something different and have its own, or at least my character have its own. I'm really excited to see it. Is it out or is it just announced?
It's been announced. It's not out yet.
It's good. It's good. I had a lot of fun with that. Go Chris Bevins. Follow him online. Chris Bevins at something Chris Bevins. Find him. You'll find him.
Now, it says in your bio that sometimes you get to work on stage in the Dallas area. Have you had any chances to work on stage with any of your fellow voice actors, such as Monica, Stephanie, Colleen, any one of them?
That's a great question. Actually, I started out, the first thing I ever did professionally was a comedy, and it had me being an Italian guy, Rob McCollum being a Frenchman, and Joel McDonald being Russian. And that's how this was before Joel worked at Funimation. We both kind of, I had done background Wallace stuff, and Rob, we met at a party because we were like, oh, you were cast in that. Oh, no. And he said, what do you do on it? I'm like, well, I work for a company called Funimation. And he's like, oh, really? What have you been in? Because he had already been in tons of stuff. And I'm like, well, I'm in the background of a bunch of stuff. And so we got into that, and he mentored me for a while. And Joel and Rob and I were just thick as thieves. And they're still some of my dearest and oldest friends.
Yeah, because you get to cook together.
Yeah. We actually just had a night out at Joel's, and he's meatless right now. It is heartbreaking. Not that, if you are vegetarian, God bless you, it's wonderful for your body. But just watching my friend stare at a hamburger as I ate it, I'm like, I'm so sorry. It's so good, there's mushrooms in it.
And then now, following on that, tell us about any anime series, as you said, you've got to direct it. You said that you got to direct your prize joy, Beck Butler. You got any other current series that you had the opportunity? Because I know that you said you want to take a small break from it and focus more on your acting and writing and things like that. So,
I haven't directed since Black Butler 2, and yeah, it's a really fun job. It is a life. It is a lifestyle. You sit in, and it's really cool, and we've got like the people, but I don't like self-directing so much because it makes you crazy and neurotic. But I now get to work more because I'm not self-directing, and I'm not like you get to work more.
So following up on all the directing stuff is, do you feel that actually directing makes you a better actor, or vice versa? Like directing would make you a better actor, or acting makes you a better director?
By far, like I stared at Tatum was the one of them, and I used to watch him and go, how are you doing this? How do you land these lines? What do you, and then you start to see patterns in all these really talented people and what they're doing and how they're handling it. And, oh, you're thinking about it this way. And I tell Tatum, I talked to him about it last night. I honestly, he's one of, they're like 5 guys that I actively rip off. And, you know, being able to do the Tatum voice, he's the one who taught me it. And now every time I go out and I'm like, like Bora in Fairy Tale. It's my Tatum voice. So, yes. It teaches you so much, and you understand the process more. So when you go into audition, you're not worried about 10 million things that might be going on behind the scenes. You're like, oh no, it's A, B, or C will happen. So if I don't get cast, it's simply because of this and that, and it takes a lot of that weight off, because you start to understand, like, casting sometimes is just having vocal qualities like the Japanese, and sometimes you just don't have that. Like, I'm not going to have a crystal clear, high-pitched voice. I'm not going to play those parts. And I found that out.
Cool. And actually, you got to be in a cool project with Mr. Eric Vale and Brina Palencia.
Oh yeah.
And so tell us more about the movie Charlotte, and you appear as Aiden in it, I assume. So what was it like working on that project, knowing that Eric Vale was the director and everything, and trying to work really hard at it?
Well, that's what got me on. Like, the second he said, "Hey, I got this thing," we did a reading, and it went really well, and I really enjoyed it. And I really liked working with the director, Brad Osborne. He's an awesome guy. Hi, Brad. He's amazing. And so I said, yeah, I want to work with these people. And I mean, not that I had a choice. They asked me, and I went, yeah. And then we got Brina, and we got Anthony Montgomery from Star Trek. And it was a great process. It's a really cool movie. It's called Chariot. You can find it online. It's a bunch of people waking up in an airplane, not knowing why they're in an airplane, and drama ensues. I wanted to say and hilarity ensues, but it's not hilarious. It's got funny moments, but it's it's scary. And then, like, after that, I've been on so many planes, like, coming out to cons, and I just, like, it makes me, I'd never been nervous to fly, but, like, all of a sudden, I never want to be trapped on a plane again, because we did, like, because they have a half a plane, there's half of a plane that was just sitting in this back lot in Addison. And we just sat and filmed it, like, in the middle of summer, and, like, well, it was spring, so it was getting warm, but, like, anyway, but it was wonderful. It was a really great thing, and it's going to be, I believe we're going to be premiering it at some point soon, but I don't want Eric to kill me, so I'm not going to say when, because he's going to have to announce that, not me.
Yeah, because I saw the trailer for it, so it looked really awesome. Yeah. So now are there any other cool projects you want fans to know about? As always, at this time, and we know you have all those fun little contracts you have to sign. So,
man, Toriko's been a blast. I did. Something big's on the way. Something big's on the way that I'm, like, knocking on wood. Wait, is this wood? That's wood. Sharp. There's some really cool stuff, and. Yeah, I mean, new stuff keeps getting announced. I believe Future Diary was announced. Yeah, that was tons of fun. Yes, because he's this sort of, like, justice and fighting and all that, and so it's really great. I'm very happy about that one. So go out and check that out. The Last Exile, I'm very happy with, and Toriko. Now there are 4 volumes of it out, and I love it. Dude, Punching Meat, like. I am happier with it, like, it just keeps getting better and better, and I'm still, like, massive fan watching that online. And have you seen the crossover?
No.
Oh, dude, no, like I was like a kid, and Toriko gets to fight Goku and Luffy. Greeley and I watched it and squealed like little girls the entire time. Like, ah!
As always, now you have an awesome fan page that you yourself created, that you've tried to do your best to work with.
Once in a while I do it. Yeah.
So, other than that, is there any other? I believe you have a Twitter now.
I do have a Twitter now. At Ian Tweeting. It's I seem to post more on that because it's like, I don't know, with 140 characters, you're like, I gotta be clever for, like, 2 lines, and so it's I feel, I don't know, I've been doing that more. So if you're on Facebook.com/Ian's Voice, which is, I believe, my page, then also join the Twitter if you have Twitter. If you don't worry about it. But yeah, the Facebook page is a lot of fun, and I think I'm going to start bringing over my Twitter posts because I'm like, oh, I'm neglecting. It's so easy though with the tweeting and the meh.
And the fun pictures of you and Joel McDonald on the way here.
Oh, man. we pretended that he was coming with me to Anchor and that we were like gonna be in a big fight. I mean, we totally did get in a fight. What's the deal, Joel? He's gonna beat me up.
Alrighty, well, thanks so much for coming with us and joining us here at AnimeOnLocation.tv and here at Colossalcon 2013. Thank you so much, as always.
Thank you, man. It's great to talk to you.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Sarah Lentini with Anime on Location. We're at Colossalcon 2013, and I'm with Ian Sinclair, and we have a whole food question list for Ian today. All right, question one. You have been a Texan from birth, so you have probably eaten and experienced the more famous aspects of Texan cuisine, chili, and barbecue. Are you a fan of Texan cuisine?
I absolutely am. Funny story. I'm just generic white boy from America, so I don't have like that awesome heritage. Someone be like, oh, my grandma used to make dumplings, or and I always kind of missed out on that. The old Italian grandmother or something. I always wish I had that. I had an awesome Czechoslovakian grandmother who made me some awesome food growing up, but like I didn't have that sense of pride. And within the last 5 years, I've realized my main sense of pride food-wise is Texan, like barbecue and chili. It's funny you wrote those because barbecue and chili are some of my favorite things. Awesome. I'm a little picky about my chilies here.
Most people are. Let's see, question two. When at SegoyCon last, were you able to try the Cincinnati chili, and what are your thoughts on it, and would you eat it again, and how did you try it?
There's so many
different ways.
Well, I went to Skyline because everybody said you got to try Skyline, and so it was one of my first stops actually. I like it. It's different. It is a different beast altogether. I've actually gone home and tried to recreate it because you got to figure out the spices and everything, and I can't completely replicate it, so I might actually try to get some while I'm here. But it's really good. And I had okay. Now tell me about the ways.
Okay, there's conies, which you can. So you had the conies.
I had a coney, okay.
Yeah. There's basically a three-way.
Yeah. What's on that?
Let's see here.
Onions and cheese and chili.
The three-way just has the chili, cheese, and spaghetti.
I didn't have the spaghetti.
You didn't do the spaghetti? Oh my God. Okay.
Michael Tatum's throwing things at. But actually, now that you bring that up, I did have it on spaghetti in Detroit. No. Yeah. I go every time I go somewhere.
There's even a six-way.
What's on a six-way?
I think it has everything. It's the, let's see, spaghetti, chili, cheese, onion, wait a minute.
Beans?
There's beans, and I think there's garlic on it.
Ooh.
My sister gets that one.
Everything but the beans. That's my one thing. Like, okay, as a Texan, I heard that in one of the original Texas chili cook-offs, they said, for it to be, Texan chili, it can't have any fillers, so no beans. And I heard that when I was a kid, and it was one of those, like, I don't know, that you don't want to eat the beans in your chili that night, and so you say, no, Mom, this isn't Texas chili, and it's always kind of stuck with me. But I like the chili up here. I've had chili, surprisingly, now that I think about it, like, on a lot of con trips. And, Todd Habercorn and I went out and got some chili last time we were out, and, I like the chili here. Probably going to get some before I go.
And the Cincinnati chili isn't really compared to like a bowl of chili. It's meant to go on like the spaghetti.
Yeah, it's a condiment, and it's a good one.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you liked it.
I do.
Okay, let's see. When you were in Cincinnati last, Geta is a popular Cincinnati sausage-like food. Did you have a chance to try this at SegoyCon, and did it blow your mind?
Thank you for asking. Yes, I did. Actually, like my driver, the day I was leaving, I was like, okay, I've got like an extra hour before we need to go. Can we go? And I like found all these places. I was like, I gotta try this Geta thing. And they went out and grabbed it for me, and I had it on my before I went there, and I loved it.
Good.
I really did. And can I get it in this area?
I don't know.
Okay.
But if you let me know, we can possibly get some to you because we're in that area.
Glears and all that.
That's
right?
that's
Glears?
Yes.
Okay.
That is the main Geta provider in the Cincinnati area.
Good.
They even have Glears Geta Fest.
I would go to that.
I will send you the information.
No, actually, it was funny. So I cooked and ate it here, and I loved it. And I love that little pop that you get from the oats when you eat it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went home and I looked up all these recipes, and I think it was one of the first posts I even did on my page. I was talking about how like I got to try this, and I did the slow cooker way,
Okay.
where you put in the meat and all the stuff in the slow cooker, and then you cook it down, then you make your loaves.
Okay.
And I ate that for I froze one of the loaves, and then I ate half of one. And I think Todd was over that night. We came over and we were having drinks. I'm like, you want to try some Geta? And he's like, what is that? And I'm like, oh no. We're sitting there eating like this Geta sausage and drinking gin and tonics. It was bizarre, but yeah, it was. It's delicious. I really like it.
I think I'm one of the only people from Cincinnati that will not eat it.
I was about to say.
But my family loves it. So,
I try to explain it. It's kind of like a scrapple with oats.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
That would be a good way to describe it. And they say it's a German thing, but it's a German Cincinnati thing because we have cousins from Germany, and they're like, what the hell? Yeah, they're like, what the? No, we don't have that over there. I'm like, okay. All right. Well, I'm glad it blew your mind.
I loved it, and I'm gonna try to get some while I'm here.
If not, we'll hook you up.
Thank you.
Let's see. Summer is here. Do you have a favorite summer food?
Barbecue. And when I mean barbecue, there's the difference between grilling and barbecue. I love to grill, but grilling is a year-long sport. Like good, long smoked barbecue. Let's see here, summer. What do you like for summer?
I like food in general. I eat pretty much anything.
You want to do something social so you can have everybody to come out and eat.
I'd say good barbecue for me, but
that and something it's light.
Yeah.
Summer vegetables and
I love fruit salad.
But I will eat hand fruit all day. Just delicious.
Awesome. All right. Out of all your travels, what has been your favorite food, and where was it located?
Let's narrow that. Do we want to talk about cons, or do we want to talk about ever?
Ever. We're going epic. Ever.
Okay. Some of the best meals I've ever had in my life are at Mario Batali's restaurant in New York. Yeah, I got to go when my sister got engaged. It is so. Even the onions in your martini are like pickled with 18-year fermented. So good. And so that was the Mario Batali, and I've had Morimoto's food. Iron Chef food is generally my favorite. But past that, I remember having beef cheek at a castle in Ireland.
Oh, yes.
And my brother tried to have the last bite of it, and I remember grabbing him by the wrist and going, I'm going to punch you. If you eat my last bite, I love you. I'm going to punch you. And he just kind of... Okay. My brother is the reason I even saw anime in the first place. I love him to death. But if he touches my food...
It is on.
I'm totally going to make him watch this.
All right. Let's see. You put up a great video called Cooking with Toriko for the show. How much fun did you have cooking with Josh Grell and Sully?
It was a lot of fun. We were doing submissions, so we tried to stay true to the recipes, and because of that, one of my favorite things to do is I weirdly improvise. I just kind of go, oh, what's this missing? And that's kind of how I teach people when to cook. Be like, what do you think about this? How can you make that better? And they're always thinking that I'm criticizing their food, but it's how can you make that better? And then they go, maybe cheese? And they
cheese makes everything better. My mom does the same thing. I was going to give you a minestrone recipe, but it's going to take a year to freaking type it out because she has edited it so many times that it's in it has to be pieced back together. So you'll get that eventually.
Well, at least she hasn't. One of my favorite soups that my mom makes is a spinach and oyster soup, and I know that sounds gross, but it's so good. It's kind of like a mushroomy soup, but with oysters and spinach. And I have begged her for the recipe every year, and she wrote down one this year, and it was fantastic. But it's never been the same.
Aww.
She's kind of like me. She's just one of those. Throw in some habanero, and then they're like, okay, sure. Yeah. That's where I get that from. My dad knows steaks and that Texan food, and that man can make a steak. He can make a steak perfect. My mom is got the weirdest sense of I heard about this thing called mofongo. Would you like mofongo? I'm gonna deep fry some plantains, and you're like, okay. All right.
Awesome. In our last interview, we talked about food, and you love to eat. What has been a recipe that you have received that you made, and how did it turn out?
That geta is one of my favorite things that I've been given, and I'm gonna make it again. I want to modify it a little bit. I don't know how yet, and I don't want to deviate too much, but like, yeah, it's really good because you can have that. You can have breakfast. You can make geta sandwiches, but I'm also a big meatloaf fan, so meat in loaf form, very good.
Get a meatloaf. Interesting.
Because it's not too far. It would be like meatloaf with oats, like
pretty much.
Meat-oat loaf.
Meat-oat loaf.
Meat-oat loaf.
That Geta Fest, they have everything, like all different forms of Geta.
It's so cool.
I mean, for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snacks, whatever. I
love festivals like that. It's a true love of and a celebration of a food, and it's getting everybody together that goes, I don't get why people don't like this either. I love this.
Okay. Will you be continuing your quest for good eats?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm actually about to. Once I finish with you, I'm going to go on my apps and try to find out what's in the area. But I can't wait. I hear the food here is great. So
actually, the buffet is not bad.
Really?
Yeah. It's a little expensive, but it's not like ridiculous. So
if you're hungry, it's worth it.
As long as you eat your money's worth, you're okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I try and do, and then I'm sick afterwards. But it's okay. But I didn't waste my money. So.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time to do our food interviews.
Having food questions for me. That's awesome. This is my first food interview, and I loved it.
We will try and do this every time. We'll try and line up some food questions for you.
I will be.
All right.
To do it.
Thank you very
so much.
much.